Hey folks, it's Nick Granville. Welcome to Guitar Daily. So this is something I do every day on YouTube, is post videos about music gear, guitars, music theory, jazz stuff, fusiony, funk things, working stuff as a working musician, session musician, what I do. So if you like what you're hearing, then subscribe, because there's new content coming every day. Today I thought I'd look at my favorite overdrive pedal, the Dude by J Rocket. This is the pedal I use when I want to get that kind of Dumble-esque type sound. I have played through a real Dumble once, but I couldn't really hear it. It was at the NAMM show and it was really loud and there was a whole lot of stuff going on and the amp was barely on, so I don't know. Did it sound a certain way? Maybe. For me, the point of reference is always like Larry Carlton and Robben Ford. Those are like the Dumble. That's what I think of as a Dumble tone, and that's what this does, right? So I'll show you what my clean sound. Got a little bit of verb and a little bit of delay. It's really more like a slapback delay. It's all coming from the Fractal FM9. And so probably my favorite setting is just to set everything at 12 o'clock. That's what I do most of the time. I usually keep the level a little higher, but it seems to be clipping at the moment, so I'm just keeping the level down. I just don't want it to clip. So that's kind of balanced for the clean side. That's my clean. And what I like about this is it's not like hugely gainy. There's not a lot of gain in there, but it's fat. And you don't lose the bottom end. It kind of, and the most important thing about it that I like is it's super dynamic. I remember the first gig I took it to, I played a solo and I sort of got to that point where it was getting to the peak of the solo, and then I dug in a little more and there was more to give. And I usually find that when I get there, like, that's it. It kind of, they compress and they choke it and that was it. Whereas this is a very open sounding pedal. It doesn't really work like a lot of other overdrive pedals, so I thought I'd talk about that today and show you. So the controls you have are level, treble, deep, which is bass, and then ratio. The ratio is the interesting one. It's not a distortion control, I don't think. I think the way it works is it's like how much drive compared to clean. Right, so that was the ratio at 12 o'clock, so now I'll turn the ratio to 0. So you can see with it on 0, it doesn't really do much, alright? And let's crank it up to 12. So you can see there at 12 it's not particularly gainy either. Sorry, at 4 I should say, it's not. So as you can see there at 4 it's not particularly gainy either. 12 o'clock seems to be the sweet spot. I'll turn the bass control down now. So you see it's like low, it's low and low mids. I find 12 o'clock to be about right. But if I'm playing an amp that's maybe really bottom end heavy, I'll just dial that back. But having bass and treble controls is super handy. And then level, right? So again, clean sound. I think that's probably my favorite tone, one like that that's super dynamic and opens up, and you can play. If you play light, it becomes kind of cleanish, and if you play hard, it kind of blooms. And that's what I like about this pedal so much. Now, it's for that particular flavor. I like other pedals for other particular things. Tube screamer does what a tube screamer does. I really like the OCDs. I like the Muse driver that I've just got. I'm going to be showing a video about that soon. The BB preamp, one of my favorites for a long time. That's more a Marshall type flavor. This is more a Dumble type flavor, or at least in my mind what I think a Dumble is. So it's a pretty cool kind of sound. I'll show you some things now that are like complex chords, and it takes on a different flavor with those. So you can see there when I'm playing those quite complex voicings that have got a lot of, some close intervals and things, and, a lot of notes, you can still hear every note. I find that's one thing that bugs me with a lot of distortion pedals, is that they don't, when you get to the more complex chords like that, everything just tends to turn to mush. I don't ever want that, right? I always want it to have a clarity like that. And it's not gain, it's like the way the notes kind of, and the harmonics interact with each other and stuff. So I find, this is, like I said, one of my favorite pedals, and it's lived on my board. I had two of them at one point because I had two pedal boards and I wanted one on each for a bit of consistency. Now I just have one. I have had, the other one I had was the version 1 and the version 2. I remember talking to Mark Lettieri about it, and he was saying that he thinks the version 1 probably sounds better. But the problem with the version 1 that I found, no, there's a problem, but the switch is a little bit louder, and the volume control is the big one, right? About quarter is about unity, right? And then you turn it up just a touch, and it's got loads of volume in there, But he thought the version 1 sounded better. I think I compared them side by side. To me, they sound pretty much the same. As much as one pedal sounds like another pedal, there can be variances and components and whatever, but they were pretty damn close, right? I can't really tell much difference. So I found the version 2 to be more usable, mainly from that volume control perspective. So hope you found that useful. If you have, please subscribe, and I'll play you out on some of that funky groove thing with that SCO type thing, which I think this pedal does really well with my favorite setting.